Let me just talk about this. I usually point out the central theme. And the central theme here is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords, this is kind of like sailing away from a troublesome situation, right? And then now having to come back, having to, whatever you have walked away from that was left unresolved, that was left very unclear and, undefined. I feel that you're going to have to go back to revisit it and to get some closure from it. Okay. So I feel that there might have been a situation. I feel like it's family related, children related, family related, and even like a family member that you would consider like a relationship partner. I feel that there's some unfinished business that once and for all, you need to kind of like stake your ground, like draw the line in the sand, go back and tell the other person that, this is where I stand and we should not be having this conversation again. So I feel that a lot of you are in a position where you're standing up for yourself, where if someone has been kind of like on the sidelines, just like egging at you, I feel that you're going to stand firm and you're going to tell people, where you stand with them and telling them pretty much that, your behavior is not okay. So I'm sensing for some of you, this is occurring in your work environment, okay? There has been projects, there has been, like a lot of momentum. I feel like a lot of you are learning new skills, are honing in on new skills that you are learning in order to perfect something in the work front. So I feel that you're working very, very diligently to accomplish things. And in the process of working, I feel like, more responsibilities get put on you. You're either volunteering your time to take on additional responsibilities. And you feel as if, this is going to allow me to move ahead in a very clear, directed manner. This is going to tell everybody that I'm a great team player, that I'm a great collaborator. And this is going to, solidify. It's going to help me um, I feel like improve some new skills of yours or even like allow you to perfect some new skills. So you're doing it happily. And I do sense that over time, the people kind of like take your efforts for granted. They see you finishing your responsibilities. They put more on your plate and they feel like you're such a great team player that they impose more responsibilities upon you. And it's like, it's unwarranted. It's not fair. And I feel that a lot of you are going to really need to draw your, line in the sand and to tell people what's appropriate and what's not. Okay. So I feel many of you are going to be standing up for yourself very strongly in the work environment. And then some of you, this is going to be like in the family situation. Okay. Brothers, sisters, siblings, parents, especially, imposing something upon you. Like, I'm just sensing like expectations coming through from family that for whatever reason is unfounded. And you feel like, with family, like I mentioned before, a lot of you are very lenient. So you will, take up the mantle and do the work. But I feel that either way, you're going to need to be very, very definitive about what you're willing to do, what the other side needs to contribute, and how much of your time you're devoting to this, endeavor that they're demanding from you. So that's really, really important. Not stating your case is going to create a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of hurt feelings. Okay. So making sure that you communicate in a way that is logical. So for example, if you have a time commitment for work, and they're giving you more responsibilities, I feel that it's really important to, tell them, I can get back to you on this project in about 2 weeks time, 2 months time, and be very realistic about that. Okay. You're not the sign to want to eagerly want to please other people. You're actually very self-contained. And I feel that the main thing here is to, gauge our potential, your individual potential, see how long you would need to finish existing commitments before you commit yourselves out elsewhere. And so communicating very clearly is going to be important for you. Okay. What I also feel coming through here is, we have here a little bit of a codependent type of a relationship that I feel you're not ready to extract yourself from. So I feel like once again, this is a situation that you devoted a lot of your time, your effort, and your resources in. And I feel that the other person, you try to move away from it. And when you're away from it, you're actually very, very successful. But the other side keep pestering you to come back. The other side keeps, tempting you to come back. It could be like a former lover, or I feel like employment from a previous time, like a previous employer, soliciting you with, why don't we negotiate for a higher salary? If you come back, we'll, compensate you with this. We'll match the salary. And I feel that it's really important for you to not have to be so diplomatic, but, to draw your line in the sand and just tell them where you stand and just say no. Okay. So I feel communication coming through is going to be a little bit fuzzy, but I do sense that it is so important for this month to have that mental clarity so that you can communicate yourselves in a way that is incredibly definitive, so that other people are just, they know where they stand with you. Because I feel like you were trying to, not hurt their feelings. You were trying to not deal with a situation, but now it's coming back from the past, and it's taking up a lot of your time, a lot of your thoughts, and you don't really have time to entertain this thing from the past. And so you need to let it go. Okay. What I'm also feeling is, there's a great energy here when it comes to really figuring out what's done and over with. Pick your battles, as well as think about, the actions that you're doing and the best outcome that you're hoping to achieve. So for example, if you're hoping to divert your time, launching a project and everybody's on board, but you have second thoughts, you have doubts that it's going to be successful, maybe, saying that up front and save the people the effort. Okay. So I feel that a lot of things have kind of been swept under the rug, and I feel like it's projects related. And I also feel as well, there's somebody in your life here, and this is showing up here as an air sign. So an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And I feel that this is somebody, I almost like this person feel like there's a karmic relationship here. And I feel very strongly a very strong family vibe with this person. And I'm sensing that, they're headed down a wrong path. They're headed down somewhere that can bring them a lot of disappointment. And I feel that they're so tunnel vision, right? And they can't really see any other outcome than the outcome that they already have in their mind. And I honestly feel that they don't know, they lack in that, creativity. They might lack the insights and also the adequate research to know that there's a better path. So they're heading somewhere down a troublesome path. And you're trying to figure out, do I help them? They might come to you for financial assistance. They might come to you for a sounding board. But more than anything, I feel like they're coming to you for support. And I feel that in the past, you try to detach yourself, or at least you try to tell this person to pursue their dreams, to go ahead with it, and to, take a risk. But now things seem to be risky associated with this person. And so when they're coming to you for assistance, it's really because, they respect your expertise, they respect your guidance, and they respect your mentorship. And so I feel that a huge part of you, I feel like some of you really want to be honest, but you don't want to, lead this person astray. It's almost like there's a lot of fear here about, telling people the truth, even though the truth might hurt them. Okay. So I'm sensing family members headed down the wrong path, and you have to, provide the mentorship. You have to provide that tough love, and you have to, give them that honesty, because I feel like where things are headed, it might not be in their best interest to continue down that route. Okay. I'm also feeling as well, the financial situation for some of you, there's a little bit of a detour to get yourself to the income bracket, to the, to the space that you need to be, like financially and professionally. Okay. So there's a lot of responsibilities, it feels, piling on. Okay. So I feel like it's almost like as soon as you start to master something, or as soon as, you're close to mastering something, there's another pile of responsibilities imposed upon you. And so while you're trying to learn this, there's this other thing to learn, and then so on and so forth. So it feels almost as if the work itself is endless. But you're going to get the hang of it in the June timeframe. I feel that there's going to be a lot more success, a lot more, the light bulbs will start to turn on. Everything will start to click, and then you're going to realize that, okay, everything was interrelated, and that's why everything was coming at me all at the same time. So I had to learn everything at the same time, because you're going to see how the pieces all fit together, and you're going to understand why all of those things were coming at you at that, in May, like at this present moment. Okay. So everything will fall into place. You will understand the reasoning behind it, why they wanted you to learn all of these things at the same time, and why, all the pieces are interrelated and how they're interrelated. Okay. So that big picture, that aha moment, I feel that it's going to be coming through for you guys in the next month. And I do sense as well, this is going to be, the next month overall is going to bring about a lot more solidification in your work environment, a lot more success. Okay. In the meantime, let me talk about the family situation. I mentioned earlier that I feel some of you have made it. And I feel that, despite all the challenges, you have to overcome some really, really strong, solid things in order to get yourself where you are. This is basically like, the energy of like, being in a situation where you couldn't see the forest for the trees. You didn't have like another trailblazer ahead of you. You didn't have mentorship. You didn't have guidance. You had to struggle through it on your own. And you made it despite all the opposition. This is pretty much about, people that might have told you were pursuing a pipe dream. And I feel like in spite of all of that, you stuck by your dreams and you achieved a lot of success. That's what I'm sensing. And now that you are on top of that mountain, on top of the hill, and you can see into the distance, you can start branching out. You have more opportunities. You have more professional contacts. I feel like the past is coming up for you to understand that, let's talk about who helped us get there. Let's talk about, what path we had to take, because I feel like somebody is trying to follow in, in your footsteps, and they need the same mentorship. They need the same guidance. They need that extra, leg up, that extra support. And I feel that they're coming to you. And so my advice here is that, you want to pick your battles. You want to help people, but you can't help everybody. And so if you're helping somebody that's not worthy, they're not going to be able to succeed on their own despite all the effort and the mentorship. If you want to help somebody, just make sure the battle is worth it. Just make sure they're, going to be, I guess, like, you want to make sure they are sincere with their efforts, and they're sincere about wanting that success no matter what it takes. Okay. So this is a big month where you have to really see the true worth in another person. I mean, we all come to, this planet, hopefully most of us, with the mentality that everybody is, is worth saving. Everybody is good at heart. And in a way, our souls are always very good. Okay. But like in terms of challenges, in terms of people that are willing to take your advice and run with it, or people that just want to bounce idea off of you and want you to do the hard work for them so that they can reap the benefits without having to do the work, that's a different story. Okay.